on the phone right now. We've got the WBA, WBO, and IBF lightweight champion of the planet. I've got the baby bull, Juan Diaz. Juan, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me on the show.
Outstanding. Coming through crystal clear, everything. Man, my Christmas wish list is already full. Right here. Right here. 33-0. 33-0, 17 knockouts, no draws. This is Juan Diaz, the baby bull. Now, they were just referring to the lightweight division on HBO this past weekend as the Diaz division. They stopped calling it the lightweight division. It's just the Diaz division. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel great. My victory this weekend was fantastic. I think, me stopping Julio Diaz was actually on the cake because, him being Diaz and myself, then, that made the fight a little bit more interesting and had a lot more writing on the fight than just, my undefeated record.
Yeah, last April, late April of earlier this year, you made Acelino Freitas quit. Now you make Julio Diaz quit. What are you doing, man? You're making all these great fighters stop during a fight. They're obviously losing the fight, but they don't even want to continue fighting you.
Well, it's amazing to me because I think that, I figured that the better the opposition, the harder it would be to stop guys, and that's why I train 100% and I give it my all in the gym because I am fighting these top-notch fighters, which I believe, I wouldn't even imagine me stopping these guys, and now, I believe that I'm getting stronger faster as the years go on, and I think that a lot of guys underestimate my power.
Very true, because you generally aren't known in the boxing world as a power puncher. You're more of a guy who accumulates punches because you throw about 10,000 punches around, Juan. I mean, let's be honest. So, yeah. I mean, your punch output has got to make CompuBox just wipe their foreheads in between rounds. Like, oh my God, I hope this guy slows down. You throw so many punches. It's really a joy to watch you fight. It always has been.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not I'm not one of those type of fighters that has that chisel cut body that that typical boxer look with the muscles, the biceps, and the six pack. But I have shown that you don't have to look like a typical boxer in order to be in shape and to throw as many punches as I do.
Very true. Let's go back to little Juan when the baby bull was still really a baby. When did you start fighting, and what was the whole situation behind that?
Well, I started fighting at the age of 8. I was 8 years old. I was a little chubby kid, weighed about 110 pounds, and my father is a fanatic of boxing, and he just loved the sport. And I remember sitting down at the age of 8, 9, and even 10 years old watching the fights with Julio Diaz. My dad would order the pay-per-view. He'd sit down with his brothers and myself, and we all just sit down around the TV and just enjoy great fights that Julio Diaz would put up. And I think that's one of the things that my best memories of boxing is that brought my father and myself real close. And since he was a fanatic, he decided to put me in the gym to lose a little bit of weight and see if I would do something with my life. So I started boxing. I won 13 out of 11 national titles, meaning 11 gold medals and 2 silvers. And it was an incredible time. So, I was doing that just, to stay out of trouble. My parents wanted me to keep boxing to stay out of trouble. And it just led from one thing to another. And, I tried for the 2000 Olympics. I wasn't able to make it. I beat the national champion from Mexico. I was representing Mexico because I was too young. I was only 16 years old to participate here in the United States. 2 countries protested, the United States and Puerto Rico. At the time, they had the 2 best fighters in my weight division, the 140-pound weight division. It was, I remember it was Miguel Cotto and Ricardo Williams from the USA.
Yeah, we've heard of those guys. Definitely.
Yeah, and so After that, I turned pro in Mexico because I was still 16. Had my first 3 professional fights down in Mexico. Came down to Texas at the age of 17. And after that, it was just, it's been a great ride. I had a couple of downfalls where I didn't look too good. I was hot at first, but not having that devastating knockout power made me go to the back of the line and pushed a lot of the guys up ahead of me, and so the promoters who would oversee me and kind of put me on the backside, but I kept working hard, kept training, and now here I am, a 3-time world champion.
It's awesome. It's awesome to be able to say, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's very, very unbelievable. That coming from being a little fat boy. And I see that picture. Even my manager, Willie Savannah, has a picture of me at the gym when, my parents would, every birthday, my parents would take a big old cake to the gym and we would celebrate my birthday, and there I am, a little fat boy, right in front of the cake, and I always go back and look at the picture and see where I was about 15 years ago and where I am now.
Well, I heard you bring up Chavez a couple times. Is that the guy that you based your style after, or is there somebody else?
No, that's exactly right. I based my style the way I fight the way I do because of Chavez. I used to see him fight. I used to love his style. He used to put on great fights and for the fans, and that's my biggest concern here is to put up great fights for the fans, because we all know, we can't deny it, that boxing has gone down tremendously, and I'm just trying to bring it, if I can. I'm trying to do my part to bring it back a little bit.
Juan, I've got a couple of questions from our friends on the Instant Messenger. I wanted to know if I had your permission to ask them to you.
Okay.
Are you on a motorcycle, Juan? Juan, are you on a motorcycle?
No, it's because I got out of class late and I was walking to my vehicle.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, man, we've interviewed people in their cars before, but never on a motorcycle.
No. That would be a little rough to be on the phone and be on a motorcycle.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. I've got a couple questions from the Instant Messenger. I wanted to know if I had your permission to ask them to you.
Oh, sure, that would be fine.
Awesome. Okay, question number 1. This gentleman's name is Greg Meisinger. He's a listener from a long time. I consider you the heir apparent to the pound-for-pound title when Floyd retires. If you could name 3 current fighters over a 2-year period to cement your claim to the pound-for-pound title, who would they be?
If I was to submit the best pound-for-pound fighters?
Yeah, give me 3 names that are up there with you and Floyd as far as pound-for-pound.
I would have to say... Manny Pacquiao is definitely one of them.
Interesting you bring him up.
Obviously, Floyd Mayweather, and I believe Sugar Shane Mosley. My three top pick fighters, would be Manny Pacquiao, Sugar Shane Mosley, and Miguel Cotto.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to be talking about Cotto in a second. We're also going to be talking about the other gentleman you brought up, Manny Pacquiao, in a minute. Second question was, I know you are a political science major. What, if anything, do you intend to do with your degree upon graduation? Congress, Senate, Governor, perhaps the White House?
Well, I mean, those are big dreams, and would be fantastic if I was able to do that. But
well, if that fat kid can be champion.
For me is to get my bachelor's degree in political science and go to law school and become a immigration lawyer.
An immigration lawyer. Oh, beautiful. No, you definitely could be used in that realm. No, we definitely need more people like you on that front. Another question. Pete the Heat Perry from upstate New York asks, I read that the WBO is demanding that you fight Michael Kaltsatis before fighting the guys you called out last Saturday night, Manny Pacquiao and David Diaz. Will you fight Kaltsatis or tell the WBO to bag it and fight the guys the fans want to see you fight? Pretty much what he's asking, are you going to do what the WBO says, or are you going to say you can have your belt? I'm holding out for Pacquiao or David Diaz.
Well, I'm gonna try to keep the WBO belt as best as I can, you know, and
Sure.
and it all depends on if we can agree on a couple of the terms in the contract and or whatever we have to do. But I mean, you know, I've waited for my opportunity at each of the belts that I've won for a long time, so I'm not gonna rush things. If the fight with David Diaz doesn't come off, if the fight with Manny Pacquiao doesn't come off, then, you know, so be it. You know, I've waited this long to get the credit that I have now, and once a couple of more months or a year or two, you know, I plan on unifying the lightweight division. You know, it hasn't been unified in a long time, and I want to do as much as possible or whatever I can do in order to keep each individual title that I have. So, you know, I'm gonna have to, my team and I are gonna work very hard to keep the belts, and we're just gonna see what happens.
Would Casamayor be a guy that you would look at fighting maybe? I mean, he has the ring belt.
Yeah, talk about Casamayor for a second.
Well, Casamayor, you know, to be honest, I have no interest in him. I've seen him fight enough where, you know, I think that he should let all the young fighters, up-and-coming fighters, I think it's our time now. I think that his time is past, and I think that, you know, the time of the youth, us young fighters, it's our time right now. It's our time to put up great fights. So you know, he's a magazine champion, but, you know, to me, that doesn't mean anything. He doesn't have one of the major titles, and I have no interest in fighting Casamayor.
Well, it seems to me that he's doing more talking than anything else, and he's kind of hanging on one of the loopholes of Ring Magazine belts, in that he can only lose it in the ring or if he retires. He hasn't retired, so you have to take it from him in the ring to take that belt. So he can hang on to it for the next 5 years if he wants to.
Well, you know, that if he wants to hang on to it, well, so be it. You know, as long as I can fight and be the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, then that's all that's gonna matter to me. Now, if he was the WBC champion and he was in my way of getting that last title belt, then I would definitely want to fight him. But right now, my eyes are set on being the undisputed lightweight champion of the world.
Is that part of the reason you fought in Chicago this time? I heard a couple people complaining that it wasn't a full stadium. Were you trying to draw David Diaz into maybe fighting you?
Well, I think that was a strategy from Don King.
Yeah.
You know, he's a businessman, and I really don't understand why he had to fight in Chicago when, you know, Texas and California are very, very popular as far as, you know, fans going out and enjoying and watching fights. They're two states that are very popular, and Julio Diaz and myself being from one of the two states, then I will figure that he would have it there. I had no decision whatsoever in where the fight. I never have a decision where the fight is going to be held.
Sure.
So it wasn't up to me. It wasn't because of me that the fight was held in Chicago. I believe that Don King had it there because David Diaz is originally from there, and he just wanted to give a little bit more publicity just in case we do face off in the near future.
I have another question here from the instant message. If you were sitting at a table with $5 million sitting in front of you, and you could pick, you either had to pick Pacquiao to get that $5 million, or you had to fight David Diaz for that $5 million, who are you fighting tomorrow night? Who would it be if you had to do it tomorrow?
Oh, that's not even a question. I would go for Manny Pacquiao because, you know, I have said it before that the dream fight for me would be a fight with Manny Pacquiao.
Why is it? Is that because it'll prove the most to the fans, or is it just?
I believe so. I believe that a fight with me and Manny Pacquiao would be a great big fight that the fans would enjoy. It would not be one of these fights that we all know that Manny Pacquiao comes to fight every time, and I've proved in my 33 fights that I come and fight every time. And I think that all the publicity that it would get, it would be exactly that the same intensity that we would take touring and promoting the fight. I believe that both of us would take that same intensity into the ring, and it wouldn't be one of these fights where they pump it up to be a big fight and then it's a big letdown.
Well, we were talking about CompuBox numbers a little bit ago. Your numbers with Julio Diaz were mind-boggling. They were just staggering. We just saw in the instant message right now someone asking if you versus Julio Diaz were crazy CompuBox numbers, how crazy would the numbers be if you were to fight Pacquiao? You guys are both output monsters.
Yeah, and I think that I believe that's why I want a fight like that, because I think that a fight between Manny Pacquiao will be something similar to a fight between Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera 1. I think it would be a fight like that.
I can only hope. Oh my God.
It'd be the step in the right direction to maybe save the sport of boxing, bring more fans in.
Well, they say a Mexican will save this sport. We've got a heavyweight Mexican with Areola. Obviously, from Culiacan, we had Julio Cesar Chavez from a previous decade, and all these young fighters that people are getting so excited about are Latinos, and in particular, they're Mexicans.
Right. Yeah, I'm very excited. You know that a lot of fans are starting to see me as a great Mexican fighter, and I'm very excited to hear that. And I think that as time goes on, I'm getting stronger and faster, which is going to lead me to become a great fighter all around.
Excellent. Well, the first time I met you, Juan, was 3 years ago at the Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota, New York. You gave a public workout there on the grounds. Any chance we can see you there in any of the upcoming years, like perhaps this year?
It might be possible. It all depends on my schedule. You know, I think this time I wasn't able to go because I was being a lobbyist for Everlast, trying to I was lobbying for a $70 million grant to be kept for elementary students for after school activities. They're trying to take away the $70 million in after school activities for the kids. So I was lobbying to keep that going, and I believe that was the reason I wasn't able to attend the Hall of Fame this year.
Well, as an elementary school teacher, Juan, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for fighting for a cause like that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I teach in Gary, Indiana, which is not exactly the greatest area in the state of Indiana. So
the United States.
Yeah, there's some bad areas in the world, and Gary, Indiana might be ranking in the top 10 there. So, no, I truly thank you for using your celebrity status and your belts, to the weight that you carry with them, and your punches as well, to use that for good, because a lot of these fighters, and I don't need to name names, they use their celebrity for bad, and here you are using it. Here you are using it for a positive motivator for children, and I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that the future is in our youth, in the kids, and I know how much it helped me to have people to motivate me and inspire me to be who I am. So if I can do that, then I believe that I'm doing my part in giving back a little bit, giving back to the community just a little bit. Beautiful.
Juan Diaz, I thank you. We all thank you here from Bolo Punch Boxing Hour. We thank you for taking the time out of your evening. You didn't have to take this interview, but I love that we got your message out, and we got to talk to the WBA, WBO, and IBF unified lightweight champion of the planet, the Baby Bull, Juan Diaz. Juan, thanks so much for coming on, and we'll talk to you real soon, man.
Thank you very much, and I just want to thank all the fans for all their support, and keep expecting great things from the Baby Bull 2008.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you real soon.
If you can't, then it doesn't matter.